So allow yourself to be in the spotlight. Allow it to shine down on you. You are no longer in the rough. The refinement that you went through was made to shape you to where it is that you are right now. And yeah, we all want to see it. Okay, so hello, Capricorn. My name is Kristen Snow Hansen, and welcome to SeaGoatsecrets. Hi again, I am Kristen, and I am a healer. In this video, you are going to get a full rundown of Capricorn and its role in the next generation and how to prepare for it and how to align with it. If at any point in this video you resonate with me and feel connected and would like to join my client circle and, well, become a client, you can find that link here and also in the bio. I welcome you. And as you guys know, I am a global citizen and I love connecting with all of you on a worldly and global level. And if you have not yet, tell me where you're listening from and we can all connect. Now, with all that being said, let's get into this. All right, so Capricorn, what is this video about per se? This is part 4 in the series, well, 4th and final part in the series about aligning with your purpose. And with this series, obviously, I kind of took a bit of a journey, right? Beginning with rage and then, which is really just about the navigation of emotion and anger, and then going into healing, how to build wealth in the new age, and then ending with your role in the new age, which is as leaders. And what do I mean by that? So I've spoken about this in other videos. Specifically, I believe the Cap Aqua dual, I don't want to say duality, but merger, I guess, video. But when it comes to your role in the next generation, which is this Pluto and Aquarius generation, which is leading us into being prepared for the new age and how it will be, you guys take a big place. And that place is mainly due in part to the fact that Aquarius rules your second house. So in general, not only are you going through a big transformation in terms of aligning with your self-purpose and your self-worth and navigating that energy, it's something that's going to make you a big focal point in what people are paying attention to. So what you've noticed is all of you, pretty much, yeah, all of you are being called to some role in leadership, whether it is at your home, in a small community narrative, whether it's at work, whether it's being called to fame and fortune, big wealth, which also makes you a leader in terms of whatever industry that you're in. You guys have been having this call. Many of you have transitioned recently into modes of entertainment or social media or different things like that. And what is this call? What is happening? Especially because mainly due to your Pluto transit, many of you became even more introverted than you might have naturally already been, doing a lot of healing work, becoming very introspective. And some of you could have felt like, especially if you have fire in your alignment placements, and what do I mean by that are your life path placements, which are your midheaven, your Chiron, and your North Node, then you have many of you have felt like you were buried under the rubble, as if you were diamonds in the rough. Those of you have had calls to entertainment or social identity since you maybe were young, ran into a lot of obstacles in terms of you being the center of attention or being able to have the spotlight on you. And that was a part of what was hitting you throughout your Pluto transit. And many of you responded by allowing yourselves to be the diamonds in the rough in that sense. So here we are in the new age, and many things have been lifting off of you as the karma has been lifting off of you. And the biggest thing to understand when it comes to that, especially because many of you have gained refuge or found refuge in the rubble because it felt like you didn't really have a choice, right? So now that that has been lifted off of you and it's like the sun is there and the light is on you, it can feel really intimidating, especially because you tend to naturally want to be in the background. You tend to, Capricorn in general, even when you're in the spotlight, you like to be in it in a way that is a little bit more controlled. You like to have control over your reputation or your narrative. not necessarily always wanting to be in the shallow parts of the waters, I guess, which tends to be a classic Capricorn trait. That in combination with what has gone on in Pluto, many of you, like I said, especially if you have a call to fame organically, have basically settled for the exact opposite and felt more safe buried in the rubble, being in the rough in that sense. Because to step out into the spotlight, there's a lot there, and there is a lot. There's a lot that can challenge your sense of control, and your sense of control tends to be quite important to you guys, until you heal it, and then you understand that ultimately the most important thing is to have control over yourself, and through the control you have over yourself, that's when everything around you opens up to you and blossoms the way that you want it to. Start with the manifestation of the self. So, and that also has had to be, I don't know why I'm stuttering so much, has had to be your journey, especially as, you know, these last couple of years of Pluto doing something where it pushed you down and then kind of pushed you out, and it's this interesting back and forth. And now, like I said, the rubble is off of you and the spotlight is on you. And it can be difficult for some of you because you might be used to something different, and now you're being called to this different role. And what that is doing in terms of helping you align with your path, being buried under the rubble has its benefits. And a part of the benefits that it had was, you know, when you're a diamond in the rough, well, what creates a diamond? Pressure, right? To be to go through the process of being refined and being created is something that you guys have gone through all of the back and forth, the trauma, etc. That's a part of the dynamic that you've been under. So it created this unique kind of story, a unique narrative for you, a character that cannot be duplicated. And not because its ego is tied to uniqueness, but simply because its life path tested it in ways that are very specific. I always say that originality is something that cannot be duplicated, especially when it comes from trauma. I always used to make that joke, right? You know, because it's a perspective where, you know, people can try to copycat or try to say that something is inauthentic or, you know, follow in the path of others. But one thing that cannot be duplicated is pain. And when pain is the secret to your sauce, well, no one is going to try to go through what it is that you went through in order to know what it is that you know, in order to learn what it is that you learned, in order to have the raw talent that you have. When you're talking about things like artistry, music, any kind of organic talent, usually the best talents that we've seen have come from people who have seen the darkest shadows. When we learn, not learn, but I guess when we align with people who are very wise, the wisest of us all have seen the darkest days. And that's why their intelligence or what they know cannot be read in a book unless they wrote it. It cannot be comprehended or fully understood or copied, because it's just the originality that came from the experience, and what better experience than the experience of pain. And no one is going to want to walk in your shoes or go through that life path, and it creates something that is unduplicatable. And so when you take something that's unduplicatable and exceptionally unique and you put it in the age that glorifies that, you know, like I was saying, when it comes to the Aquarian age, it's about either homogeny, which is everyone kind of being the same, or being so uniquely yourself that you become a leader in your own viewpoint of thought. That's a part of why you guys are chosen. Because of the way that Pluto tested you, and a Pluto Capricorn transit, if not, some people would say the Scorpio Pluto is more difficult, but Capricorn is the bare bones of hell, where Scorpio is the transformation experience, right? To be the death and the rebirth experience. The last time Scorpio was in Pluto was during the millennial, when millennials came about. The Capricorn Pluto is the darkest Pluto to experience. It's one of the hardest trials to go through. So you guys have really gone through the pits of the dark in order to come out on the other side. So your story is very specific, your tale is specific. Many of you guys, and tale isn't like a SeaGoat tale, right? But many of you guys have been broken down in order to be built up, and you have these very unique either testimonies, talents, skills, abilities, wisdom, etc. This great ability to heal, because as I always say, only the wounded can heal. And you're taking your own personal narrative and then expanding it into the world, which is why many of you are being called to create businesses, become entrepreneurs. Because what is entrepreneurship besides following your life path? You're taking your unique perspective and you're practicalizing it for the world to experience, which is what you guys are the best at. As I always say, the reason why Capricorn is so good at business is because the Capricorn experience is about becoming a server to the world. In the ancient world, as I keep saying that, I've said it before, but I'll stop saying that. But in the ancient world, Capricorn has taken on many different personality types. It's been many different types of characters because it's at its bare bones, it's about service, similar to Virgo, but it's the kind of service that's a little darker and a little deeper. So Capricorn takes the deep dive into the depths to come out on the other side. And that is why you guys create great business ideas, inventions. I know the idea of invention is tied mostly to the sign after you, but you guys create movements, structures, systems in order to create the new world so that new inventions can be created and then experienced, etc. So as the builder, as the creator of the world itself, the practical, literal world itself, this is where the call to become entrepreneurs comes from, because you're creating new systems. And as you create new systems, you're creating a new way of being. And Capricorn being the system creator, if we're moving into a new age, well, the divine, right, has to call to the system creator energy within all of us in order to build the new systems that we need to step into a new age. So what kind of businesses do we need in the new age? What kind of products do we need? What kind of videos do we need? What kind of content do we need now? The world is not the same way that it used to be when we were in the age of Pisces. We need to build a new world. We need to experience new things, see new figures in public, see new leaders, new musicians, storytellers, different things like that. And so this is where the call comes to you guys, because a part of your test and this breaking down experience that you've gone through was to prepare you for this role where you are right now, that is specific and unique only to you, because your experience was specific and unique only to you, from going through it to surviving it, how you survived it, what you learned through it, how you navigated it, etc., etc., right? And the raw, authentic energy that is Capricorn energy, because you guys are the exalted earth sign, and as being exalted earth, authenticity is at the bare bones of you. It lives in you. So much so that when you try to be inauthentic, it's quite difficult for you, and it can be very uncomfortable to be around you. And that's where you can take on this kind of cold persona, trying to overly adapt and make yourself overly relatable. When in reality, Capricorn energy is naturally relatable in its own right. You guys are very unrelatably relatable in that sense, where it's again very unique and very specific in who it is that you are and the things that make you up. But that groundedness that you have makes people feel connected to you in a way that they can't always explain. Your energy feels like warm in a way that isn't so naturally like a fire sign, but it's the kind of warmth that feels like home in that sense. The kind of loyalty, the kind of groundedness, peace, and stability that you can provide in situations, the wisdom, the grandfather energy. And this is where you are being called to take your position. Another thing as well is when we talk about like beauty standards, trendsetters, because you are in your second house during this age, people are looking at you guys as beauty standards. People are looking at you guys stylistically. People, for some reason, are opening their eyes to, especially as Queen of Pentacles, King of Pentacles kind of energy. What does it mean to be the real deal? That's very big for the Aquarian age, to be the real deal, to be someone who isn't faking their uniqueness, but truly is in that sense. Someone who isn't faking authenticity, but truly is authentic in that sense. And what does it mean to truly have all the things that you say that you have, which is classic of Capricorn energy, Pentacle energy, Earth sign energy, is what you see is what you get. And when you guys say something, you truly mean it. If you're on the spiritual path, you mean it. If you're if you're presenting to the world your pentacles, you really and truly have them, the substance to back it up. Your song is a deep song. Your creations are felt. They are deep. They are authentic. Because of those experiences. And any ounce of the persona that you guys used to have, you know, the status-based persona where you can kind of like put on the smile, right, and adapt to the world in order to try to adhere to what you believe is your calling, because that's what it is. You guys, from a very young age, you're seeking your calling. There's something about you that seems like you can shoot for higher. And so many of you have gotten caught up in the process of thinking that inauthenticity was the way to do that. And then you create this like kind of archetypal, borderline robotic persona in order to adapt. And so that, because of the way that Pluto has broken you down, you can no longer do that. You guys have been kind of obliterated in that sense, where your ego has died so many times, and anything that you tried to build up that wasn't authentic came crashing down right in front of your face. And yet and still here you are, and you survived it. And it was all to redirect you into the space that you are right now, which is this deep sense of honesty, authenticity, rawness in that sense, and to truly adhere to your divine calling, not the calling that seemed like it made sense back then, or the one that society tries to say is a calling, but this very unique, specific narrative that you can deliver based on who it is that you are. And this again goes back to something as simple as beauty standards, and why slowly we're seeing that transition where Capricorns are being looked at in a much higher light, from the way you guys look, from your eyes to the way you dress, to the way you carry yourselves, to your intelligence or your wisdom, your appeal, that desire to want to align with the way that you guys show up in the world is something that a lot of people are naturally being called to. Looking at many of your, especially because you guys do, for the feminines, you guys do the gorgeous thing quite well. You know, the being natural, but yet and still something about you is like underworldly. Same thing goes for the masculines in that sense. What does it mean to embrace the depth of yourself, and yet and still you're not trying too hard to over exude yourself or overly explain yourself? So these things are taking center stage in terms of people looking at you and liking the way you live your life and the way you show up in it and how you navigate yourself. Trendsetters in the same right, so musically, stylistically, just the way you do things and the way you do you is going to continue to become center stage, and something that people are really attracted to and find to be very appealing, interesting, and something that they aspire to do. Similar to what we saw in the Capricorn Pluto, but different in the sense of it's more seeing you for who it is that you are and what it is that you have to offer, versus in the Capricorn Pluto, people were more focused on how they could use you in order to try to align with the Capricorn Pluto energy, which was about, you know, kind of stepping on people to get what it is that they wanted, or seeking power or status or money by any means necessary. And as all that continues to break down, you guys yourselves were broken down where you couldn't even really always adhere to or align with what your own Pluto placement was asking of you, because that's the point, it's in your first house. And as it was in your first house, it was like it was robbing you of being able to embrace the energy itself. And that was a part of the reason why, because you were being prepared and refined in order to be here to where we are right now, which is on the other side of Saturn. And as you guys are full Saturn, that attractiveness is a part of what will align you in these leadership roles. So embrace the new identity that you have, where you're being leaders at work, in your communities, at home. People are listening to you. You have a lot of wisdom. For others of you, entrepreneurship, leadership in society, let the spotlight rain down on you, because we need to see you exactly as you are, and your unique and specific story, your authentic Capricorn way, where you guys are always very naturally eccentric and interesting and complex, always very complex, dancing from complicated to complex, and all the things that make you up that you tended to hide and put on this statuesque image to the world. It's about you letting go and allowing the ocean to move through you and embrace that SeaGoat energy and let people into your narrative. Allow the camera to be on you and share more, as that will grow your wealth. And especially, as I said, because Capricorn is in its second house during the new age, the way you navigate your wealth and your money is going to be a big part of it. So people looking at you when it comes to finances and how to grow and navigate their finances in the new age, how to utilize more of their resources and how to expand themselves financially. That's a big thing that people are looking at with you. You guys have millionaire karma in the chart. You do. So you can reach high amounts of wealth, whether it is finances and or in combination with wealth of love, family, home, etc. You have the ability to be gifted with creating a true life of, as I always say, beginning with peace, and then from there creating the authentic view of what wealth is in the new age. And that's where your call is. So people are going to be looking at you, wanting to know what that is, wanting to know how to navigate it, how to experience, how to feel it. Beyond the viewpoints of wealth that show up in the external world, the greatest wealth that one can have is wealth of the spirit. And once you acquire peace, that is wealth of the spirit. And that's where you guys are right now, as the year has been pushing you and, showing you that 10 of Cups energy to focus more on the 10 of Cups than the 10 of Pentacles, and allowing the 10 of Cups to be the beginning. By the 10 of Cups, I mean peace being the mode to progress that will lead you to the practical 10 of Pentacles on the other side. And so that is a part of what is fueling the wealth that you're going to build and what people are looking at, what they want to see, what they want to learn about, and the journey they want to take. So allow yourself to be in the spotlight. Allow it to shine down on you. You are no longer in the rough. The refinement that you went through was made to shape you to where it is that you are right now. And yeah, we all want to see it. Okay, so that's kind of my brief explanation of being leaders in the new earth and to lead us to the new way of being. Major roles that you guys are taking. Show us what you know in science, in human relations, in healing, in understanding trauma and how to move through trauma, all the things you guys know about beauty refinement, how to love yourself despite your ailments as well. Capricorn, you guys have been tested, so show us how to love yourselves post-cancer, with scars, with any kind of blockages. We want that from you, okay? So give us that baggage, don't hide it, and show us how you refine it, okay? Also, in the Healing Circle this week, which is a membership here, our membership here on YouTube, we are covering home within the body, feeling at home within the body, the sacral, and meditations around the sacral energy, and we're doing our full introductions and all of the above. So that's what you can look forward to this week. And yeah, if you have not joined, you can do so following this link here. Okay? So I love you.